Director requesting for this road to be constructed, what I had summarized in my opening remarks.
And
So
Chair, this logistics hub is something which is going to help us so much to protect our roads. We have trailers from South Sudan, trailers from Congo, who traverse on our roads. So this road would help us so that these people can pick their cargo from the logistics hub. As I talk now, we are now repairing the railway line from Tororo to Guru in order to connect that railway to the logistics hub. And that's when we shall avoid cargo being moved on our roads.
Okay, members have a comment?
A specific one. You said their PAPs were not paid. Were they now finally paid? This one of belonging to this, the 2.79 acres for the 1.100.
Well, we have paid most of them. In fact, these PAPs.
Or it's part of the list you are going to provide?
These were mainly graveyards. So we've paid most of them.
Evidence to that?
We can give evidence.
Yeah, regarding this Guru thing.
We can give evidence.
Let's go to 2.4.
These were Honorable Mapindu's people.
Oh. Let's go to 2.4. That is the award of contract without funding commitments. Yes, response?
Chair, through the PS, we have framework contracts which do not require availability of funds at contracting because we signed a contract for 3 years. Now, what requires confirmation of funding is really the call of orders. And indeed, the call of orders which were issued during that period, the contractors have since been paid for some of this work that they did under this call of orders.
Just take us through this evidence which you have provided. Evidence, this evidence 9? This is 9.
Evidence 9 is really an attachment to confirm that for those call of orders which were issued, the contractors were accordingly paid.
Members have a comment from when you go to page 11.
Chair, before we leave, I wanted to know whether the legal person is doing his work. Because do they even have one who came today? Because some of these things, as a result of failure on his part to advise, wouldn't be having hours of contract without funding. Would be able to say this is not permissible, or it is, but you realize that there is a gap. I don't know whether there is a legal person here today and whether he's doing his work or her work.
Yes, another comment?
Chair, these call of orders are in most cases caused by your honorable members here. The member will come to say my road is in bad shape, I'm not moving, until when you close your eyes, you say, okay, let me issue this call of order. Let's say the truth.
Honorable Chair, the PS has answered rightly.
Honorable Itungo, you have a comment on that?
Yeah. Chair, I'm coming from Wizwera and Sika.
Okay. Because
Okay, proceed.
my technical team was advising me on this.
On which one?
Exactly that how we moved from 70 million to 2 billion. Clerk, can you explain to this?
But you have already put it. I think it's to for the team that explain how we moved from 70 million to 2 billion. He wants to capture. Yeah.
Yes.
The reason, the justification.
The reason was that we had budgeted to do this work by our equipment and staff. And the scope of work was really to do grading of this road to improve its condition. Now, because of the huge scope that was required, grading would not be adequate. We now had to engage a contractor. And this contractor was to do the grading and putting the gravel and putting the culverts and the drainage work. So it was really to do with the scope and the change of implementation mechanism from the expected use as a mitigation measure. Like PS said, the road is in bad condition. As you are processing approval of the call of order, you are better off trying to grade and then you improve the condition of the road during that period. But the actual scope was to do the grading, to do the gravel works, and then to do the drainage, to improve the drainage system of the road. That's why there was that change.
Okay. Let's go to section 3. That's report on performance evaluation. We go direct to 3.2, budgeted activities for which no funds were released. Yes, Bindi.
The audit report, but it is something which I feel I need to table before the PS and the engineers here. I am seeing these roads that are being done here inaccessible for persons with disability, specifically the wheelchair users. Why can't you in your design make provision for wheelchair users to cross over to go the other side if they are using the roads? I see it everywhere in different countries, even here in East Africa. It is done. But Uganda, you see that someone cannot really cross over. I can even give you an example of Entebbe Road. If someone is crossing from Chibuya and wants to go somewhere there, a wheelchair user will ride the wheelchair until, I think, Stella, to cross over the other side. Don't you think that is important for our people with disability?
Yes, Pana Sadat. Yes.
Zakawani, could you say something?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Through the PS, previously we did not have a design manual to provide for these facilities, but of recent, during COVID, I think 2022, the ministry now prepared design manuals that incorporate facilities for special people, and going forward, we should be able to incorporate this into our designs. But of course, it comes with the additional resources, I think, which government has to look for, because really it is something that needs to be done because it is being done elsewhere. But we now have the design manual for non-motorized traffic, which includes those wheelchairs. They will be incorporated going forward.
Yeah, the engineer is not being honest, because I happen to have an organization called Uganda Action on Physical Disability, and we designed the manual, and the same was incorporated in the Building Control Act and also other acts, and it has been there, I think, for now 4 years. So if you say you are still thinking of designing the manual and then there is financial implications, then I'm seeing there is no will.
Chair, I said the non-motorized design manual was approved in around 2022. I don't remember the right period. But that manual previously, prior to COVID, we didn't have any manual. And indeed, we are grateful that you participated in this exercise. The ministry now has a design manual for non-motorized traffic, which includes provision for persons with disability. Going forward, the roads that are going to be constructed, new ones, and then the ones which are going to be rehabilitated, the provisions of that manual now are going to be incorporated, and that's when those facilities will be captured in the new designs going forward. But at least we have that manual, I think beginning 2020 or 2022, I don't remember the right year, when the ministry took it through the process of approval, and then it was given to the engineers now to begin utilizing it in design process. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Let's go to 3.2. Members, if you don't have, do you have a comment on that? 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.5.1. Response? Specifically 3.3, utilization of warrants. The entry had a total of 2.6 trillion, and out of which warrants worth 2.4.
We could just get an update on these activities which the funds were not released for, whether they are now provided for in the next financial year.
Can
Just
we
that.
have the status quo of these activities? We know the funds were not released, but
Engineer One, yeah,
if you have a comment on
is there any update on those projects where they did not release funds? What's their fate now? Is it still the same, or some funds have been availed now such that they are able to be completed? Because we want to avoid them remaining halfway done.
Yeah, the former director of corporate services should be able to take us through that.
can take us through. I said that's evidence 10.
Because I thought that was then because because at the time when we were there, the funds were not released. Now that in the ministry, have funds been availed to complete? I think that's the update. Just the update we need to, because the former cannot respond to that now.
So, Chair,
is there any update on those roads?
Chair, in the supplementary, we covered some of this, but I had not gone one by one. Okay. I could do double check and then we see which ones we paid, but out of the supplementary which we received, some of these were provided for and they were paid.
Just write update and you send to
Please,
us.
you send us an update, specific on these projects.
Okay.
There's table 7 showing a sample of activities affected by the underutilization of warrants. You can also get an update on this. Have you seen it? That is
Page 14.
Page 14,
Just
with
like-
the general report.
Just like 13, give us a write-up of
That's
update.
table 7. You give us an update, a written one. There is 3.5 findings on supplementary. Yes, findings on supplementary funding. I noted that supplementary funding totaling 53.68 billion was received and utilized without a written request for approval from the accounting officer to the minister as required by the PFMR. And the details are Alberta Region Sustainable Development Project. Supplementary amount received was 16.42 billion. Person who requested, none. Hoima 1 1 Seko Road, 30 billion. Person who requested none. Upgrading Chitala Gerenge Road, amount received 7.26 billion. And then the total amount is 53.68 billion. 53.68 billion. Can I have an explanation over this?
Chair, through the PS, the former Director Corporate Services will respond to that.
Thank you, Chair, and through the PS. During the budgeting, there were some funds, the budgets which had been cut by the Ministry of Finance, specifically on these projects. These were counterpart funding on Albertine, which was the World Bank funded. Also counterpart funding on Hoimawasko, which was the oil roads funded by Exim. And then there was also the in-house project under Chitala Gerenge. The budget had been cut. Along the way, the ministry changed its position and availed the money. But it was availed post-approval of the budget, so they had to prepare supplementary. And they were notified that the minister has been able to secure some money to fund the activities where they had cut, and were requested to submit to work in the system, apply for the budget, and we applied and it came. So it's not that Unra applied, but we had raised the complaints about the budget suppression. So when the ministry found some additional resources, it released this one. Thank you.
Situngo?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, I think we just need that notification document he's talking about.
Okay.
That should be sufficient enough.
And Chair, you see,
Situngo? Sorry, we bind.
the former directors endeavored to explain, but you see, a supplementary remains a supplementary. Because the initial budget was approved, and this amount of money were not in the initial budget. So whether the Ministry of Finance changed their mind and then decided to give it to you, you had to follow the procedures. But if you say it is because they deducted on our money and then later they gave us this money, that answer is not sufficient enough. Because for us, if we are writing the report, we may implicate you for no reason. So I think it would be better for you to get a document that can protect you. So as we write, because the auditor has raised it, and at the exit meeting, you did not convince the auditor not to put it in the audit report. So it is here, and we are obliged to report about it. So should we just say what you said? If we say so, then you are in trouble, because it remains a supplementary budget.
Yes, and we have a response.
Chair, this supplementary budget came through Parliament, and Parliament approved it. The auditor's question was, the accounting officer of Unra had not written requesting for it. But the ministry prepared it and passed through Parliament, and it was appropriated in the normal way. So it's not that there was any shortcut. Thank you.
Yes, Itungo?
When you read on page 15 of the Auditor General's report,
the last paragraph,
you can see where he's coming from.
Let me read it. The accounting officer expended that UGX 53.68 billion that UNRWA received as supplementary funding was to reinstate the budget that had erroneously been removed during budget preparation, as funds had remained on projects special accounts relating to the previous year's budget that had expired. Yes,
I think that
Right.
explains. You remember there was a case of where they even falsely accused Kivumbi, where the money was erroneously deducted for the local government for his district. And then when it came back in the supplementary, and people say, no, you are defending this because yours is included. Yet it was just a reinstatement. So I think this looks to be the similar case, because if it was the cutoff and the supplementary was brought and passed by us and reinstated. So I think that suffices for now, unless something beyond that.
Okay.
But what was requested for, it can avail that the notification, that one needs to
Please
avail.
avail with us that notification. If it's available now, you can provide it. Let's go to 3.6, delay in implementation of activities. You can take us through quickly. Yes. The response.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Chair. Through the PS, the first project was emergency supply and installation of street lights along Kajan's Munyonyo Spa. This emergency was due to the non-aligned movement summit was due to take place during that period. Indeed, the contractor installed some, but there were some delays that were caused by lack of adequate materials in the stores of the contractor, and the contractor had to order those materials from abroad to complete the works. But the basic works were done. Some of the lights were done, and the work was eventually completed. We provided evidence to show that these works were eventually substantially completed.
Is the evidence?
It is in the pack.
This one?
Yes, in that one. We attached the substantial
That is
completion
evidence
certificate.
number?
That's
Which number?
Evidence number 14.
14. Members, are you there? Evidence number 14. Please just take us through.
There is a substantial completion certificate, engineer certifying that the works were indeed completed, but also we attached the letter the contractor requesting for extension of time, providing the justification for that request, and then the approval of that request by the accounting officer based on the reasons that the contractor provided.
Members, you have a comment? Okay.
The second project was the maintenance of Kampala Jinja Road. The delay on this project was attributed to contractor reduction of the rate of production and suspension of works, citing poor cash flow because we had failed to pay an interim payment certificate of about 5 billion for works that he had undertaken. So the minister has now undertaken the reassessment of the road condition, and the scope of works has been revised from the original maintenance to full reconstruction. And the failed sections from Nakawa to Alusubi in Mukono are the ones which are going to be reconstructed, and the rest will be under another scope. So the issue was to do with the cash flow. The contractor could not move because we had not paid, and that was because of the budget cuts during that period and the separations.
Maybe, Chair,
Yes.
for us who use that road, I know even the PS uses that road. Can we be comforted now that the work is going to start? Because that road, when especially Mabera Forest area is bad, and the work seems to have almost come to a stall. But also, without even that, when Unra was there was that routine of trimming the trees. Now the trees are almost closing to the road. I think that can be, and it tends to even obstruct the traffic on that road, and there are many more accidents happening on that road. Can we now get to know when is the work starting and moving now that you say that you have improved the scope, there's going to be a reconstruction. Just the status.
Let's first get the status, then you come in.
Yeah.
Is it related? Okay.
I think PS, what my colleague is saying cross-cuts all the former Unra roads. They used to have a team of road gangs that would clear the bushes and whatever he's talking about. So when you took on the roads, did you also took over the road gangs, or you abandoned the activity of the road gangs? That is the concern.
Response.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Through the PS, indeed it is true. Those trees used to be trimmed under Unra, but now the PS again has reactivated this. We've written to NFA because we have to work collaboratively, and that's what used to be done. So beginning August here, the labor-based contractors that you are referring to, who are clearing the vegetation, including trimming of those trees, will be done when we receive money this quarter. Now, to do with the Mavira section, because we have rescoped the work and the periodic, the contractor is going to stop it around Mukono. The other section, we are now using our in-house unit to do the minor maintenance as we process reconstruction of that section by a contractor. But currently, our in-house team now is going to fill the potholes and then do the surfacing. They are now currently on the road, and we expect that to be completed in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to 3.7, unsatisfactory quality of works or services. And the Auditor General explained that I undertook physical inspections on 6 projects worth fund. Yes, Itungo? Where is it? Worth 437 billion and noted defects on 5 of the 6 inspected projects worth 236 billion as highlighted below. Can you take us through and explain to us
what happened?
What
here?
happened
What
and the
happens
status?
The status. Okay, on the status on the Kabohe Nyakambu with the Wera Road, the status that the physical works commenced on 5th June of 2023 due to delayed submission of performance guarantee by the contractor. But the maintenance works were completed in January of 2024.
They're not yet completed even now.
Yes. Yes, conclude.
Yes, but of course those delays were attributed to the contractor. He was charged the liquidated damages. We usually penalize the contractor for delaying this type of maintenance works. Now the scope of works, it was limited really to grading. And when you grade without putting the amaram, by the next rain with the heavy, movements on the road and the harsh weather, that work deteriorates if you have not put the amaram. And that's why I think the work may appear as if it is not complete, and yet we have completed the grading works along that road. So the scope of grading works was completed. That's what was completed during that period, Chair. And we've attached that evidence, which shows the amount of money that was deducted because of the delays which were caused by the contractor.
Okay. Members, you have a comment? Yes, Elijah.
My general comment is just, I think, to ensure that now that the work has been done up to the quality, the desired quality, because the issue here was unsatisfactory quality of works. So they made it now the satisfactory level. I think that should be what we should be looking at.
Yes.
Have we ensured that quality, satisfactory quality work is done? Or what measures have you put to ensure that that doesn't repeat?
Yes,
I think that
response?
should be.
The response.
Yeah, Chair, like I said, the works were really limited to grading, and the grading was delivered in accordance to the required specifications in the contract document and our specifications, general specifications of Ministry of Works.
Yes, Itungo.
Engineer, that road has been suffering. You even know that the Nyakam Bridge, you just did something temporary with an excuse that you want to work on the road. The same applies to the road. So whenever we complain about the road being bad, we say this road is under this, so we don't want to do something temporary when something permanent is coming. So as you said, the documents are with the Ministry of Finance, whatever, you maintain the road as you wait for the documents. Otherwise, the road is not in a good shape, really.
Chair, I think through the PS we've taken note and we're going to take action. What usually happens is that if there was certainty that the money for upgrading is not coming soon, then we can invest money to do gravel. But otherwise, you cannot spend there like 1.2 billion to grade and put gravel when we have requested for upgrading and the road has been in the pipeline for long. So I think if we can get confirmation from finance that the financing for upgrading is going to delay for 1 year or so, then we can invest this money to keep the road motorable. But otherwise, what we do is just to grade to make it very smooth, and that's why this work doesn't appear as if it is good quality. Because you cannot spend a lot of money when you are actually waiting. A contract has been signed for civil works and you are waiting for confirmation for the contractor to come, and yet that contractor in this contract is the one who is supposed to do this maintenance work. It is provided in the upgrading contract.
And Chair, we are
So how have you answered?
Chair, we are building capacity to do this maintenance ourselves. Already there is one unit, General Katumba calls it is a unit. It has done a good job from Kalaji up to Gayaza. Now after that one, it is the same unit which has now moved to Ginger Road. We have repaired a second unit which has been in Ipalisa, and we want that one to go to Chenjojo. There is that part between Muzende and Chenjojo, so that we can be able to tackle some of these bad units, bad stretches before we go for reconstruction.
Okay.
Honourable Chair, before we go to that road going to the Minister's place, I am not satisfied about the answer from Engineer Wani about the Wizwera Road. That because they are not sure about the upgrade, so they keep it the way it is. That road, you know, we have been discussing that road for the last more than 10 years. So when will you be sure about the upgrade, so that we either wait for the upgrade or work on the road, so that we can, because now it is impossible.
Chair, what we do is, like I said, we will also instruct the station to do the grading work, really light work, to remove to make it a bit passable. That is going to be done. But for heavy work of maintenance, to put maram is what I'm saying. We cannot do that because the upgrade is coming. But grading, by the assistant commissioner,
is coming
will take that. I think August, maybe Rachel, you can confirm when have we planned to do this road?
Thank you. Through the PS, this road we have actually scoped, and we want to issue a call of order upon confirmation of funding, such that we can improve on its quality. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Itungo.
Chair, thank you very much, Chair. Finally, I've remembered Rachel.
What have you remembered?
Rachel, finally, I've remembered her.
What have you remembered?
She was stationed somewhere in the Western, so I've remembered her face vaguely. Now, Madam Rachel, on that very road, you marked people's houses. They are X on the buildings and whatever. People are not using their buildings. They are still waiting for compensation, the word from the PS. So as you plan to work on the roads, you know, all the shops along the road and the gardens and whatever, they mark them XX and they are waiting for compensation.
Meanwhile, Honorable, I would advise you follow half of the call of order. I will issue it.
Chair, now you give me Rachel and we follow up together.
Can you give us more details about this project number 4, rehabilitation of Matuga Semutoka Peka Road? Bumping, why are you laughing?
Chair, to inform the PS that is your constituency.
No.
So that he answers.
It's not my constituency. For Ugandans.
Chair, Honorable Pindi also spoke about his constituency. So what's wrong with you talking about your constituency?
Yes.
After all, Uganda is made up of constituencies.
Can I have a comment on this?
Chair, the construction works on this rehabilitation works are ongoing, and at this particular location, like the Auditor General observed, that section work had not started because there was a pipe that needed to be relocated by a subcontractor, and that scope of work was still being reviewed by the utility owner and the ministry during that time of audit.
Oh, the status? What's the status?
The status, we received these approvals, and the progress is now going to be on. The only challenge is now cash flow for the contractor. But otherwise, this matter has been resolved.
Remember that place was named as Mecca for NRM government.
It's still Mecca.
No, it's not yet. Let's go to 3.8, delayed completion of road projects worth 63.912 billion. Yes, Chitungu.
Chair, on page 18, Chair, project number 2, that is Shaka, Mbarara Ishaka, and Mbarara Ibanda Wiswera Road. It is also very bad, you know. And the commissioner who was here comes from Ishaka.
Yes, have a response to that, a comment?
He just wants the status now. What's going?
Ibanda Road and Ishaka.
Yeah, those roads really have deteriorated beyond their design life. We need to reconstruct them. And like the PS said, there is a meeting which is planned for us to be availed really more resources to rehabilitate those roads. But they have totally collapsed due for reconstruction. Because even if we put there a contractor to patch, the resources are not there to do that. And that's the constraint that the PS has mentioned, that maybe in this meeting we will be guided on, PS estimate be directed to give us money for this road here.
Mr. Chairman, the fundamental issue, people say during Unra money was there to work on these roads. What happened? Madam former ED, did you go with the money for roads and now we are suffering? What happened?
Madam Kajina, did you go with our money?
And also maybe
in the private sector?
Maybe before she answers, even the effectiveness, that once I have a problem on the road, I call the ED, and 3 days later, something is happening on the road. Now it takes a month, 6 months. So what is the problem? Why is it taking long now? Because when we were merging, we were talking about efficiency. And that it was part of the justification. Why is efficiency not? Where is this Mr. Efficiency? Why don't we see him?
Chair, last time I tried to explain this matter. In the first quarter of last financial year, we got a zero release. Then in the planning, Unra lost 80% of the money allocated. So it's until when we raised the red flag and said, look here, all these roads are going to collapse, that we got a supplementary. Now, even after getting that supplementary, we were in a transition. First, we had to collapse the 2 votes under Unra and the road fund into 1 vote, and that had to come to cabinet, to parliament, and it was quite a process.
Be near the microphone.
After joining these 3 votes through parliament, there was a problem of interfacing the payment systems. So these district offices have been going without money for quite a long time. There was no money. Even when we had money, we could not put it on the system. Like my head of accounts here, she had to register over 10,000 people on the integrated financial management system, and it's not easy. So these are some. We thought RAPEX would be as seamless as possible, but that wasn't the case. But as I talk now, the situation has improved. The districts have got some money. The region offices have got some money to make those interventions.
Chair, I think the question Francis is asking, whom does he call now? I think that's the question. When does he call now? Because in Unra, you would pick a call and call. The channel of communication, I think that's what he's asking. Can he call the PS, please, my road here is broken, and engineer one is the one we should now call. Okay. Okay. Yes, I want to answer. One answer, only one answer.
Yeah, the commissioner be on record on that.
Yeah, sure, Chair. I think I will receive calls, and the regional managers will be able to share the numbers with the committees, but also our operational stations. They have managers who are in charge of a number of districts. So they will also be available to be reached on specific issues concerning the roads. So the structure is very elaborate from myself, the assistant commissioner, and the principals down. But within the operational area, we have those station officers. Those officers should be on call and should be able to respond to any specific needs.
So they have powers to act. If we call them.
Yes.
Because then they had powers.
Yes, they will have powers, because what happens,
they will have.
Like they have powers.
So they have Honorable Intended.
So much, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to express my dismay. Some of us who were categorical during the times of rationalizing Unra. It was a very, very unfortunate aspect on our side, in spite of the reasons that we advanced. And I must go on record for the various reasons we were opposing, and one of them was inefficiency or effectiveness on the side of Unra. But we have been given materials here which we will use for our report writing, of course after internalizing, and I must thank you for this constructive engagement. I just want to go on record. Me who comes from Kayunga, now that we are getting updates, the ministry is here and Unra is here as well. We had a bridge that had the Seziwa Bridge. Yes, it had gotten dilapidated, not for overusage, but I think neglect. Initially, it had been anticipated that it would live for 100 years because it was constructed in the, I think, mid-50s. Less than 50 years, it had issues. Now, some of us who use our natural eyes to look at it physically, you see the cracks are small. But the point I want to put across, then Unra had promised that the project, upon getting the money, it would be completed in a few months. But what is happening now, even the construction that is going on during day and night, the most unfortunate part of it, during at night, construction is going on, but even the light that is being used during the construction, to me, is not visible. People are building, constructing in darkness. There seem to be some works that are going on, but I would want to confirm from these people to get to know the exact period in which the project will be complete. Because
There was a route that was diverted where heavy trucks are passing. It is dusty and very far. Secondly is on the issue of the updates ministry. Me, who is the chairman, Roads Committee Kayunga, then honestly speaking, even in those meetings we used to have Unra people attending the meetings. Some of us, we don't just oppose government, but you see with government, you request, then with Unra, we would demand what we wanted.
So
but
now
we want to
you don't
request
know
the government.
to demand.
Government, you can't, because they don't take roads as a priority.
It's wrong.
Honestly speaking.
No, you are wrong. Because even what you have said, that contractor who is on Sesiba is very active and is doing a good job. And you thought you would first acknowledge that.
We acknowledge, but even before I appreciate, of course works are going on. That is true. But we need to know when they will be completed. That should be on record. Being a big project, we have got to be patient, because really this is a big project one would appreciate. But communication is important. Government has a big failure. Because from whom do you inquire?
So
where do we get these updates? It is key.
So meaning, as a chairperson, Roads Committee from Kayunga, so you no longer get officials from the ministry as you used to Unra?
Exactly. That is one of them. But also, it is important for the ministry to be factual, because that is when we will be able to explain to the people. So, Permanent Secretary, PS, those are some of the issues, but literally communication is important.
Okay.
But also the ministry must know that the works, because when you make follow-ups, I have a road in my constituency, we call it Unra Road. But if it is not made, I will not make it back to Parliament, simply because of, honestly speaking, these are serious issues.
Thank you.
And we will continue raising them until I don't know what government should do. Hey, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't go?
But Chair, I just
Let me
want
first have a response from the team. No, first wait. Yes?
The local contractors we are proud of.
And on the issue of communication, the interaction.
But he's the chairman of the Roads Committee.
Kayunga.
Why could
Yes?
Yeah, Chair, in terms of completion, this is a mega, because we are now improving, we are sorting out the drainage problem across that Sezivua swamp. And we are building a number of box culverts and the bridge itself. So it's not going to be only a bridge. As you can see, some of those big structures have been completed. And after that, we'll do the bridge. The bridge will be completed by about December or January. And then we do the filling, because the road is going to be raised. Now, in that filling, you fill slowly so that the settlement is minimized. So we expect this work actually to be completed in July of 2026. July 2026. That's when this work will be completed. In regard to lighting, I think we'll follow that up. If they are working at night, we need to have adequate lighting. We'll advise and instruct the contractor to make sure that that is done. Now, about attending road committee meetings, if you take our operational office like Kampala Station, which takes Kayunga, there are a number of districts that they take care of. Now, sometimes these meetings may be scheduled within the same month. The officer may be constrained, and we have been having challenges in sending junior officers to attend these meetings, because the senior person, who is the station manager and the regional manager, like you find there is Kampala, there is Mukono, Buikwe, Kayunga, all these districts would require that this officer attend those meetings. And sometimes we are really constrained. But while we are constrained, we should be able to provide you with a status report of what is happening in the district. So I can commit that when you ask in advance, we should be able to give you status even if we don't attend. But where it is possible, we should be able to send these people so that they attend and they give you physically the status. And that is going to improve going forward, Chair.
Elijah?
I think just back to the PS, I think because the law which we're using for the road fund for the membership talked about Unra. Now that Unra is no more, I think there's need for an amendment to provide for that, because that possibly would be the ones compelling, because under the old one, it was provided for that they are members, but with this one, but before that the PS is here, it should help us to inform the officers, the region, if they are invited, they should be able to attend. At least I also I've chaired for Serere for the last 10 years. The Sorority officers have been very active. They have been attending, even under the current regime now. They do attend, but it may be different for other regions, but there's need for the amendment of the law. And Engineer Wani, I think they need to improve on the road signage, especially when it gets night. We almost entered, because that time I was using a new driver who has not used that road. We almost entered, because we just realized we had reached the bridge. So the roads signage show people that there's works going on, the big work road. Should really be at a distance, should not be so close to the where the works is going on both sides. It needs to be improved. But of course, I hope they have taken care of Honorable Mali's issue, the people of the disabilities, because that place, people cross from Kayunga to this side, so they need to, there'll be that movement, so they must provide for that along on that bridge.
Thank you.
To take care of that. So
Honorable Mali?
Chair, I just wanted to correct the impression that Honorable Nsanja has put on record, that this government does not prioritize roads, and yet is mentioning UNRA, which was an entity of government and funded by government. So I requested that should be removed on record, so that we can move well.
Let's move on, members. Let's go to 3.8. That is grading completion of road projects worth 63.91 billion.
But I think that is self-explanatory also here. It's
I
because the money was not there.
You have provided
if there is no money.
I can see you have provided list under evidence 15. Perelwe Gayaza, that is Katugo, Chinyogoga, Kaweweta. This is from Nakaseke. Washami, Washamaire, Chafola, Chienje, and Kabari. And the list is, what is the status now? This is the current status, as you are provided as evidence?
That's correct.
Members have a comment on this?
No, that's an update.
Okay. 3.9, that is the work plan implementation in Guru, Arua, Chitigu, Muruwela, and Ginger stations. Yes. As we are summarizing, we are just remaining with the two issues. Just in a few minutes, we are going to be done. Yes? PS? You have a comment
the
on that?
problem has been the resource constraints, but maybe on each specific road, the engineer may say something.
Yeah, Chair, the issue really was about budget not being implemented because of those budget cuts and suppressions. There was a cut, and then again they suppressed, so they didn't release even the amount that was cut, reduced it to, and that caused the constraint in our operational stations up country, which were sampled by the Office of the Auditor General.
Section 4. Summary of audit findings from other audit engagement. I can see audit of the Treasury Memorandum. Parliament, the number of parliamentary recommendations in the Treasury Memorandum, there were 14. Fully implemented were 4. Partially implemented was 1. Not implemented were 9. And you had the performance of 64%. And we get a response on that.
Chair, through
Why are
the-
you
No,
not
it's not the
implementing Parliament?
No, in fact, the performance is not 64%. That's non-performance.
Oh yes,
So
non-performance.
it is
34%.
36. Their performance was at 36%.
36.
Yeah, Chair,
So mean you are not implementing parliamentary's recommendations.
What were the challenges? Maybe they gave us the
Yeah,
challenges
Chair,
in implementation.
implementation of the recommendations was really limited due to limited resources. We didn't receive money to implement some of the recommendations that were sent to the ministry for implementation. So we've provided an annex which has the summary of the current status of implementation of the recommendations.
Do you have a comment on this project, the donor-funded projects, like Busega Mpigi Unra Road project, Muyembe Nakapidipirit Road project, Northeastern Road Corridor Asset Management Project, Ruenkunye Apaka Road Project, Kabale Lake Bunyonyi and Solo Koboko, Kapchorwa, Kampala Jindi Express Highway. Yeah.
So, Chair, because I think Auditor General did the audit. There are some they have completed, there are others which are not, they have not completed the audit. I think in the absence of those audit reports here, how can we query, how can we start interrogating?
I thought that they have just a
Unless
comment.
they can make comments, but when we get those
That's
audits,
it.
that's when we will be able
We
to
shall go
interrogate.
through all these project reports, but I just wanted any comment, if I have a comment from. Yes, Kunya, Salongo.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. I just wanted to correct the impression that maybe these audits are not yet done. These audits are done and the reports are available. Thank you.
And that's why I said that I shall go to.
Chairman, maybe if to correct him, you look at number 4, they say in progress.
Status of audit.
Instead of in progress.
Number 4.
So we are sure with what we are saying. And maybe you are saying that was at that time, but now you have completed. Is that what you are telling us, that they are all now complete? Yes, is that what? That now they are all
Chair, they are complete.
Okay.
They are all audited.
Okay. Let me have a comment from PS over these projects if you have something to say.
I made a comment on Renkunya Apache. Busega PG was affected by the vetting. Which
Pin near the microphone.
Busega PG was affected by the assessment of the ability of the ministry to carry on with the project, and also there was a realignment of the project, but they told us that the matter is going to the board. This is done by African Development Bank. We are hopeful that by next month, funds could start flowing so that we can start on that Segampiji. Of course, there are others which are ongoing. There is Muyembe Nakatripit. That one is okay. There is one in Budadi. That one, Narugugu. Narugugu is also progressing. Maybe we are not doing badly with these donor projects.
About anyway, members have a comment on that or any issue as we're about to wind up?
Well,
Yes.
I think when we get these reports, maybe that will be when we shall be able because now we just be talking in anticipation. Once we get to them, but for now, I think we'll be done with that. Because it's the audits which are complete, but not the works.
Okay, yes, Itungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in the last meeting, where we badly needed the former accounting officer, is to account for your former staff. Are your former staff paid? Were they absorbed? Where are they? So can you give us light on the status of your former staff as an accounting officer?
I think you should just say, were you paid off? Yeah, that's the question, yeah. Direct, were you paid off? Or you are there like other pensioners struggling?
Okay. Yes.
Chair, I think this really is a question which should be directed to the PS because the payment was to be made by the PS, but I can tell you that there were undisputed amounts which were paid to all of us. There is an amount, severance, which was not paid and was, we don't know why it was not paid, so we have decided to challenge it in court. Yes. I have not followed up. PS might be able to answer that.
Absorption, we have the figures in the report which I told you we shall discuss at a seminar, at a workshop. But so far we have absorbed road fund. There were 31. There were 35. We have absorbed, I think, 31. Then in Unra, we had the 1,348, and the figures are there. But all I can say is that the process is.
Said 1,000. How many have you absorbed?
How many?
But because, as I told you, the process is still going on as of now. But okay, give him
the status as of now, as at December, when Unra was closed, the permanent staff were 1,348. Then the contract staff, members of senior management who had 5-year contracts, were 35. And we had 131 staff on fixed term contracts, ranging between 1 to 3 years. As of June 30th, 2025, the staff who from former Unra who were absorbed were 1,009. 1009. Yes. Those not yet accounted for are about 510. And in that category, some did not express interest during the application process, others did not go through, and like the PS said, there is going to be a second phase of recruitment where some of these staff will participate. And if they don't succeed, they go to the third phase. And if they don't, we've been guided by the Honorable Minister and the Ministry that they will be considered in other government agencies like SGR, URC, and all those areas where they are positioned for staff.
So where does Madam Kajana fall?
On no man's land. No man's land.
Those who didn't pick interest?
Madam Kajina, we categorize that in those who didn't express interest.
Okay. Yes, you are the last one.
One of the commitments government made during that time,
The rationalization?
yeah, was they would try as much as they can avoid litigation. Because I was very much insisting on that people would be taken to court, people would go to court challenging payments and delayed payments and all that. So I want to remind the PS, a number of members were convinced on 2 grounds. One, that Unra, the employees in Unra, the staff, they would be absolved because they are one and the same people. Unra and ministry are one and the same people. And that was a point that was made. And that they would be easily be absolved in the ministry. That was one. The second one was to avoid as much as government could the litigation. So it is important to keep your promise. There is no reason whatsoever as to why government should be taken to court, you are failing on a fact that is known between the two parties. It is just a reminder. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
I'm in charge now for a few minutes while the chairman is away. Some fundamental change. So, PS, yes, please. Honorable Francis.
Yes, the Commission has talked about how many have been absorbed so far.
Maybe
so through you, can I ask that we get lists? We see how many have, these 1,000, you talking about one list of those who have been absorbed, those who didn't express interest. So these details, can we get lists as a committee?
The list is what we submitted.
What was passed here?
It is there.
Yeah, it is. I think the clerk has copy.
The Honorable, the amount of civil litigation, if somebody wants to go to court, you don't deny him the chance to do so. He'll be seeking redress. However, the head of public service, having been informed that the former staff were not satisfied that they were not paid the surveillance package, they could not qualify for surveillance package, and I think they had gone to industrial court. She has encouraged the Attorney General to sit with the leaders of these workers from the aggrieved parties so that the matter could be resolved amicably. That is the position which is being held by the head of public service, so that we don't have such, Then for absorbing staff, it is, this rationalization was not supposed to create unemployment. And this is what we have been assuring people. We had an example early on when the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation was dissolved. The head of service herself took it upon her own as its duty to allocate staff who could not be absorbed elsewhere. In fact, in the Ministry of Works, I received 3 staff from the former Ministry of Science and Technology, and the same is going to apply to this. It's only those who cannot be absorbed because of maybe lack of qualifications or because they prefer to be in the private sector. Those are the ones who shall leave out. You look?
Chair, I can brief you while you're away. When I was here, I think the issue which was raised while you were away was the issue: can you avoid as much as possible the issues of litigation? And the PS has responded that the head of public service has advised the Attorney General to see whether there can be mediation to meet with the leadership of those who have gone to court and see whether they can get a middle ground. And I think that would be the best. Because going there, Madam Kajina knows when there was restructuring in URA, when she was there, because there are also staff who went to court. So it is not anything, but if that can be explored, we would encourage you to proceed that way, to avoid that. And on the issue of the detailed numbers of the people, let's say the document that passed to us has how many have been taken, like the 1009 and what. So we shall be looking at those documentation there.
That we shall have audit over that.
I'm now coming to that as question on the issue of the workshop you are talking about. You know that we are entering a very tricky timing. You know, September is the nominations. You need to organize that early such that we also pass it to the population.
Yeah.
Because as you have heard, some of those people you laid off have gone to flock down. They have flowed down some of the colleagues because of the phrase, they say you did not help us. So we'll be able to have that information if you could do it in a month's time, before that time. We would appreciate, and I would also encourage you to do the combination of the 2 committees, Fiscal Infrastructure and Cosase, such that they are both on board. Because now it's now Cosase which is raising this matter. I know me, I will be again on the other side. I belong to both and Francis.
Okay. Thank you, Elijah. Yeah, indeed, it has to be organized in time because it will help us even in our report writing, isn't it? Yes. So I would like to thank you, members.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, PS, you know, people come and ask questions. There are some staff from Unra that the minister had given a 3 months contract. Now, those contracts expired in June. Now, since June, those staff are stranded. They don't know whether they are going to renew, you are going to renew their contracts, whether they have. So, that is issue number one. Issue number two, engineer one. When we talk about communication channels, we are not talking about making calls and whatever. You give the public information. There used to be time for RDCs, I think on the third day, on some of these radio stations. Use that time to give the public information about what you are doing on those roads. But there is a lot of miscommunication and misinformation and all that. So you need to improve on that communication. So take advantage of the media and give each district the status report on the Unra roads and what we are doing, so that people don't ask us many questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Who is the head of public relations in work, in the Ministry of Works?
Kataike, deputized by Alan Sempe.
But we don't see Kataike. She's nowhere. So I think this is a very important point. This is a very important. Even this issue of the number plates and what would not have reached this level if the public relations of the ministry was doing its work. And this is very easy.
So none of the two is available here in this meeting.
We shall tell them to be more. It's a concern. We shall tell them to be more visible.
Yeah, if they are not there, you can redeploy them and get people. When we had issues in the parliament here, I returned me and Francis were in the commission. We even had to go head hunting to get people who can speak for us. So yeah, and you know, had also did that, and I see most organizations do that. That's how we ended up picking people, the Chris or Boris, and pulling them from where they are to here. The other people were picking somewhere. So you need that aggressive, because people think you are not doing it. You are doing a lot. The other day we were also telling the Civil Aviation Authority, you have done so much, but people doesn't know, and yet you have done a lot. So please, your public relations department needs to up the game.
Your point is very clear, Honorable Elijah. As we are winding up, I'm going to get remarks.
Honorable Itungo, your point of people have missed salary is also hurting us. These are people with families, children going to school. Some of them had the loans in the banks, but the money we got to take us up to the end of the financial year was limited. So we have only been able to pay some contracted staff up to June. Meanwhile, today's engagement, we're asking Minister of Public Service to give us some more positions so that we absorb those people. And when they give us more positions, they give us also the wage. Because a lot of money was saved through rationalization. So we could say, okay, give us more vacancies, more jobs where to put these people, and also add us to the salary, so that we can recruit them and pay them even the salary they have not been paid. We are equally concerned.
Yes, Itongo.
That goes back now to the communication. Give them a message. Let them know. People are just in space. They come and sit here and say, ask this question. They send questions on phones. Ask them this, what is our fate? Give them information that, you know what, this is what we are doing.
Those who come to us, we give the information. But there are those who choose to come here.
So please make a public...
No, you see, PS, we represent them. We speak for and on their behalf.
PS, you can make a public communication, isn't it? It will be better. And lastly, PS and the Commissioner, you should take note of the Wero Choko Talango Road, the contractor, Dot Services Limited, was supposed to complete that road in June, and he requested for extra days, and I think he's supposed to compete in September, but it seems he won't be able to compete during that time. Those services limited, you should take a note of that, because that road is very essential for those people from Ngoma, from Hoima, Nakaseke, up to Luwero. So PS and your team, you should take a note of that. That is in Nakaseke Center, and that's my constituency. A matter of public importance, I've raised it. So let me get closing remarks from PS, and then we conclude.
I thank you, Chair, and the members for this interaction. We work as a whole government. Parliament and ourselves should support each other to get things moving. We have a few colleagues who left to come and challenge you. Fortunately, many of them didn't do well, but we want to take this opportunity to wish you a very good electoral season.
Chair, somebody who is in private, is she coming as an independent?
She would have already done so. So we would like you to pray that we get many of you back. Honorable Tumuijuchi has been with us for long. We wouldn't like to lose him, although he belongs to another side. But that doesn't matter. We are working as a whole government.
You, which side do you belong?
I don't know. So we hope to meet again, and we wish you a very good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members, and everyone has spared time to attend this engagement. Therefore, adjourn this meeting, members, to Tuesday next week at 10 in the morning. Thank you.
Chair, you are not inviting them for dinner. It is 4 o'clock.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Abeka mara tusi. Awarunji. Naffe tujja.
Oh. Bami kwangu. Anya inakuchange ono.
Uncle, you can just use your phone.
Hey, tuina mombo.
Va ku mwana gwe change.
Nayanziza nnyo.
Nange kwepera.
Yes, sir.
Zo ziri mmeka?
Ziri 3 kitundu.
3 kitundu?
Yes, sir.
Naye baba. Sente nga zinzigweddeko.
But uncle, you can't get from your phone.
Just keep on playing your bodies. What did you do? Mweba rutegeka. Nze no bora bankoye. Va ku machandi mu shopping. Juma jamwe ambe ku munno muti kule ebintu. Muri mutya?
Uncle, you're suffering again. Can you put it on your phone and make money?